Hi everyone, welcome back to Susan Dawn's Spiritual Connections. Welcome to a brand new soul path reading. This one is going to be kind of near and dear to my heart, and I'm going to explain why. So today we channeled a little bit with the Lemurians, and it is something that I haven't done in a while. I haven't connected with them in a while, or with the dragons, and I'll get to that in a little bit. And I asked myself why. Why have I been so reluctant to go deeper with my channelings? I've noticed a shift over the past couple of weeks, over the past couple of months with my channelings. It's almost like I've been afraid to go deeper. There has been some experiences that I've had over the past couple of months where I have been facing a lot of doubt about the work that I do. I experienced in my physical world some harassment, some just horrendous accusations that I really had to take some time with myself and sit with myself and ask, what is my truth and what is my reality and what do I believe about myself? And I realized that this person's accusations have no bearing on my reality and what I view about myself and my intentions and the work that I do. It was very difficult for me because this person is somebody that I had put a lot of my own faith and trust in. And unfortunately, they chose to hide behind false accounts in order to do this harassment. And so it was very difficult because it broke a lot of trust. And the worst part was that it made me doubt myself. And it actually was a blessing in disguise because it did make me go deeper within myself. And over the past few weeks, I have been sitting in that silence within myself and going deeper within myself and learning more about myself. Not only what I will and will not stand for, but also what do I know about myself? What is my truth? And to that point, am I going to accept another person's view of me? Am I going to use another person to validate me? And the answer is no. And it took a lot for me as a former people pleaser to acknowledge that, to really stand in my truth and really stand in my self-empowerment and really stand in my self-expression. Where in the past, something like this would have completely crumbled me. And it did make me doubt. It did make me look at myself. That was a gift too, because when I looked at myself, what I saw in myself was a lot of good intentions, was a lot of love. And it is my responsibility to be the best version of myself. And however somebody receives that, I've learned that is their responsibility. It is not my responsibility to quiet myself. It is not my responsibility to silence myself. It is not my responsibility to hold myself back. And very much throughout my life, I had done that. Very much throughout my life, I had allowed for that and accepted that. So I have absolutely no ill will towards this individual. It was a great lesson for me. It also shows me that I am not accepting that kind of energy in my life whatsoever. Because it was very, very painful. But it did give me the opportunity, as triggers always are opportunities, for you to look deep within yourself. And so I recognized that I was holding myself back for the sake of what will people think? Will people think that I'm crazy for channeling the things that I channel and believing the things that I believe because it's not their belief, or because maybe they don't understand it, or maybe it's not their truth? And what I'm recognizing is that this is my platform. Just like this is my life, and I share on my platform just like I share in my life. I want to be fully me. And yes, some things I keep sacred, and when I am in connections and friendships and relationships, there are different sides to me that everybody sees, but I feel like I am always open and vulnerable and truthful with all of you, and that's all I ever want to be. And so I don't want to hold myself back, and I don't want to silence myself, and I don't want to keep myself suppressed in any way. And that's where some of that responsibility, I realized that I can't take it all on. That, and you guys know this, I'm not really speaking to my community here, but if you are new here, then allow yourself to take what resonates with you. And if it doesn't resonate with you, allow yourself just to move on. You don't have to like anything that I say. You don't have to believe in anything that I say. The only thing that I ask is that if you stick around and listen, that you do so with an open mind and an open heart. Just as I do the same. This is my platform in many ways. This is like my home. This is like a sacred space. And I'm inviting all of you in to this platform. And I encourage you and welcome you to have your own. Have your own space, have your own sanctuary, have your own platform in which you can vocalize and express your own opinions and thoughts. I very much encourage that if that calls to you. But I realize that I don't want to hold myself back and suppress myself because I'm afraid of somebody's opinions or what somebody might think or what somebody might feel. I don't want to have to parcel myself out in that way. My beliefs are my beliefs because of the journey and the path and the experiences that I've had and been on. This platform is the lens through which I experience my life and my journey. And I share the channelings that I receive and the wisdom that I've gained and all of that through that lens and through this platform. I don't ever want to say that my truth is the absolute truth because it's not. I am growing and evolving right alongside all of you guys, and my beliefs have deepened and changed and evolved as my learning has deepened and evolved. But those beliefs are still my truth, and maybe your journey has taken you on another path, and that is absolutely fine. I have no judgment for that, and I have the deepest respect. And because I have the deepest respect for everybody's journey without judgment, I also require that respect in this space as well. So I want to take accountability for myself and responsibility for myself and apologize to you guys because I have noticed that I have been holding myself back, and it took a while for me to work through that. It took a while for me to allow myself to go deeper like I had been in the past with my channelings, because those channelings, they surprise me too. This journey surprises me too. When I channeled Alexander Hamilton, when I channeled Leonardo da Vinci, when I channel all sorts of information, it's very new to me. It's not coming from regurgitated sources. It's coming from divine channeling. It's coming from God's source, because I always connect directly to God's source. And it either helps me understand concepts that I've already have an idea of, or it's something completely new that allows me to explore deeper, and it requires me to open up my mind and my heart. But it speaks true for me, and this is part of my journey, and allow yourself to accept what does speak true for you, and again, disregard if it doesn't. But I do require respect, and that's coming from a newfound respect for myself. And so, again, I am sorry for that I have pulled back a little bit, and that I had repressed a lot of my abilities and my gifts, especially when it comes to the sacred channelings. I had held myself back, and I realized that when I was channeling the Lion and the Lamb. It's a new channeling. It's available on my sister channel, Susan Dawn Ascension Connections. Allow yourself to check it out if you feel so called. I had been channeling that information for about a year, and it never felt ready. And in truth, I think I was a little bit scared because it was new information, and it would completely upend everything that I knew, and it would completely upend other people's beliefs. But, I feel like this is a journey of evolution, and this is a journey of expansion, and I feel like we have to have open hearts and open minds. This journey has been just that for me. Everything that I've channeled, man, it has been a wild ride of trust, hasn't it? And everything that has been channeled is everything that I have experienced and come to understand on a much deeper level. And you guys share with me as well that these channelings and even the client readings, the personal readings that I do for you, how much they've helped you along your journey, and these have certainly helped me understand mine as well. So I very much appreciate the energy exchange that is happening here. I very much appreciate that, and I honor all of you and appreciate all of you. So it's been a little bit of a difficult past couple of months, as I have had to really go deep within and question myself and challenge myself and face those fears and that self-doubt. It is not easy. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when you judge yourself most of all. I have shared before that I take this as a great honor, this work that I do, and I hold a lot of responsibility for it, especially because in many ways I am helping to facilitate your journeys. Now, again, I've recognized that everybody's responsible for their own journey, and everybody's responsible for their own thoughts and their own beliefs, and that's where you have discernment. That's where that comes in. Again, if it doesn't resonate with you, allow yourself to move on. Allow yourself to reflect on it. Allow yourself to look within yourself and see what resonates and what doesn't. Allow yourself to challenge yourself in that regard. That's where you have your own discernment. What speaks true to you. But I don't want to hold myself back. For example, connecting with the dragons, connecting with the Lemurians, doing the channelings that I do, even when it comes to sacred union. You know, if other people aren't on the journey, they might not be experiencing what I'm experiencing, and that's fair, and that's okay. There's no judgment with that, but that doesn't deny my experience. And I don't want to deny my experience anymore. I've been called crazy. I have been called just horrendous things, honestly, that really knocked me down for a little bit. And I had to take that responsibility and look within myself and say, okay, what is this actually showing me? And it's showing me that I need to trust myself, and I need to honor myself, and I need to allow myself to love myself enough truly to trust where I've been led and what I feel is true for me, even if it's not true for somebody else. So that being said, I want to do a little bit of a channeling with the Lemurians because they've been coming in quite strongly for me lately. The Lemurians are an ancient civilization of light, of peace. They're very deeply connected to the earth. Very high vibrational, high dimensional energy that comes through in support of our ascension journey. And before I even knew what the Lemurians were, I was receiving downloads, I was receiving visions, I was receiving understandings and insight. And then when I allowed myself to dig into it, what I was receiving, then it began to all make sense. And that's been my journey. You know, I'll get understandings and I'll get downloads and I'll get bits and pieces of things. And again, it just kind of blows me away. That's kind of what my sacred union journey has been. You know, it's not researched and it's not regurgitated information. It's all coming organically through the experiences that I'm having and what is being shown to me. So with Lemurians, I feel very, very deeply connected. And I feel like I was afraid to keep connecting as deep as I had been in the past, because we used to go very, very deep in these channelings. Because again, it's almost like my faith within myself and my work had been really rocked. because I put a lot of emphasis outside of myself. I put a lot of trust and emphasis in somebody else's opinion of me, and somebody else's belief in me. And unfortunately, their lack of belief in me very much rocked me. That a lot of trust was broken, and it broke a lot of trust within myself. And again, I take responsibility and accountability for my role in that, in allowing that. But it has allowed me to once again step up within myself and grow within myself. And I did take some time to sit with myself and evaluate that. And what I've come down to is that I do trust in the work that I've done. I do trust in the work that I'm doing, because I've seen my own evolution, and I've seen my own transformation and expansion, and I've seen my whole life shift physically and internally. And I also know and trust in what it is that I'm receiving, because I feel the energy of it, and the energy is always one of love, never of criticism, never of judgment, never of a heavy energy. It might be some tough love sometimes. As we know, Spirit likes to wag the finger and scold sometimes. Spirit can be very snarky with me and sarcastic, which is no surprise because I can be the same. But it definitely always feels like an energy of love. And that's what I trust. And I trust in God. And I feel like this has brought me to a deeper level of that trust in God, which has brought me to a deeper level of trust in myself. So we are going to be channeling deeper, especially over on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections. We're going to be, again, there are so many channelings that have come through that I just haven't had the courage to share and post. But we're going to be doing that as we continue through the spring and summer. I'm going to be gaining the courage more and more to do that. and I'm excited. I'm excited because this feels like home to me. This feels like my truth. And this feels like my purpose and part of my mission and what I'm meant to be doing. And I want to honor that. I really want to honor that. So I thought today we would channel with Lemurians. This is a Lemurian starseed deck. I've also gotten the go-ahead to do a meditation, a guided meditation to connect with Lemurian energy, and that's been coming through. I've been working on that. I'm going to be channeling the meditation probably within the week or so. So you can expect a couple of meditations, new meditations available on my website. I have a whole bunch of healing activations and guided meditations and things to help you along your journey on my website as well. So, yeah, this has been a real learning curve. A couple of years ago, I had channeled a channeling on Susan Dawn Ascension Connections called Crisis of Faith, What Happens When God Goes Silent. And what I channeled was, it's in that silence when you get to connect with yourself more deeper and connect with God more deeper. And in that doubt, in that dark night, when you discover yourself more. And I feel like that's where I've been. I could have just completely let myself fall apart into doubt. But just like all of my life, there's always been something, no matter how much my fire goes out, there's always been this like a little ember, this little flame, this little spark that just won't allow it. And sometimes it takes a while to nurture that. But nurture that we do. And you have to believe in yourself. There might be times in this world, in this life, especially as we're on this ascension journey, as you keep clearing and healing and growing brighter, there might be people who just don't understand you, or who just don't want to understand you, or don't want to see you for who you are. And it's disappointing, and it's heartbreaking, and it's sad. Especially if you see the best in people, and especially if it's somebody that you deeply love and trust. But that's where you have to keep believing in yourself regardless. That's where your self-love grows deeper and deeper. And so keep believing in yourself. Keep believing in yourself. Wherever you are on your journey, whoever you are, keep believing in yourself and keep building that belief within yourself. It's not from an egoic standpoint or a conceited standpoint. This is from a deep sense of self-honoring and self-love. So that's where I've been, and it has taken me a little bit to be that honest with myself and be that vulnerable with myself and really reflect on this. But I feel like I am coming back. I'm kind of on my way back. So thank you guys for being here. We have the fire of transformation. That's that phoenix. That's exactly what I was talking about. And I feel like this is confirmation. This is that phoenix. The fire sometimes might feel like it goes out. It might feel like you are just encased in doubt and like maybe the world is against you or doesn't understand you, but do you understand yourself? How do you feel about yourself? How do you love yourself? How do you honor yourself? This is your chance for rebirth. This is your choice for rebirth. This is your choice. It becomes your choice. Who is it that you want to be? Do you want to be the opinions of others? Or do you want to stay true to who you know that you are inside? We're going to stick that up there. Beautiful energy. All right, Spirit, what do you want to say today? What do you want to say today? Given what we're talking about today, what do you want to say? Let's get one at a time. This is like, this. You see how, look at this. I have small hands, but this deck is gigantic. All right. Spirit, what do you want to say today? And I do want to say to that end, I really do appreciate the encouragement and the support and those who do choose to uplift. I really do appreciate that. Again, you do not have to believe. You do not have to, and I never want anybody to follow blindly. Use your own discernment. This is your journey too. You have your own journey. You have your own path. So use your own discernment and follow your path. Please do not follow anybody blindly. Have your own frame of reference. Have your own mind. That's what we talk about here. From the very beginning, that's what this has all been about. Following your path and your truth. We just kind of work as a guide for each other. So for those of you who have been supportive and encouraging and uplifting, I really do appreciate that and really do appreciate you. Okay. Okay, guess we've got our cards. Let's see what we've got. We have Cosmic Heart Source. I, source of all, true home, just be heart connection. Oh no, it's not an I, it says one. Okay. Source of all, true home, just be heart connection. Sovereignty, Sacred Mountain, and initiation. I feel like this is exactly what we are talking about. And it's interesting that we have a dragon here because I brought my dragon deck out because I was feeling dragon energy around me today. So really beautiful. I'm going to take these kind of one by one. So the Sacred Mountain, this is your journey up the mountain. And I really encourage you guys, if you haven't already, check out the Lion and the Lamb channeling because we talk a little bit about this, about how this is your journey up your mountain, and everybody has different paths up the mountain, but it's the same mountain. We're unique threads in the tapestry of creation, and we're all experiencing our life, our human existence, and our personal spirituality, our sacred journeys in various different ways. But that's no judgment. It all makes up the whole. It's all, everybody has a piece of the puzzle. And that's what makes it so beautiful. That's what makes it so just divine. The uniqueness of all, it's what makes it so expansive and so evolutionary. Everybody has this beautiful, unique piece of the puzzle. What creates the division is when we have that judgment against each other. It's when we have that battle. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. Everybody's right. There is no absolute. Well, maybe there's one absolute, but it all comes down to the sacredness, the truth that you hold within yourself. Everybody might approach things in various different ways, but again, it's not left or right. It's not black or white. It's not right or wrong. It's not red or blue, so to speak. There's that middle path. And the more we honor that middle path within ourselves and within each other, the more we can see the bigger picture, the whole of how it all comes together and how everybody plays a part in the global ascension, in the global evolution. And that's how we can make real change. That's how we make real change, not by the division and the separation, but by recognizing what unites us. By recognizing that we all have pieces of the puzzle. We just might call it by a different name, or we may just have a different perspective of it. It's just the absolutes is what creates such division. No, this is what happened. No, this is what happened. Maybe it all happened. Everything is possible. It's just we get so kind of narrow-minded and narrow-focused that we don't keep our hearts and our minds open to potential. We don't keep our hearts and minds open to the possibility of everything being possible. So I feel like this energy is that sacred mountain is our spiritual journey, and how everybody is having their own path, but it's to the same enlightenment. It's to the same destination. It's the same focal point. And what I'm just seeing is it's all God. It all comes down to God's source at the peak of the mountain, and we're all just finding our connections to God. We just might call it by different name, different languages, different paths to get there. But you have to feel what is right for you and what is your truth, what is your soul's evolution, what is your path. No path has to look the same. In some ways, we might find ourselves journeying together, and that's where we become part of a collective, and that's where we support each other and uplift each other and encourage each other. But we can also learn from those experiences, from those differences. Sovereignty is that energy of personal sovereignty, right to choose. That's what this is. You don't have to get hooked into one thing or another. And I think that's where I speak about religion and the lion and the lamb, and that's where I personally don't adhere to religion. When I was very young, I was part of religion, and then I made that choice not to be part of the church. But that doesn't mean that I don't still feel the church within me. When I worship, so to speak, when I pray, I feel much more natural in nature. I feel much more at home in nature. I feel much more connected in nature, connected to God in nature. But that's for me. I share this again in The Lion and the Lamb, where when I was in the 9th grade, I read a quote by Thomas Paine. My country is the world and my religion is to do good. And that's as simple as it gets for me. It's as simple and true. And that's what it is. That's what it is for me. And I've lived my life by that mantra, by that quote, as simple as it is. And it is simple and true when it comes down to it, but it's also deepened within my understandings and my connections and all of that. It's deepened within me. It's grown and evolved within me. But at the core, that simple truth is what is real for me. And that's where I get to make that choice. That's my own personal sovereignty. And I want each of you, to have that for yourselves. You're meant to have that for yourself. That's what your journey is about. It's about recognizing yourself and recognizing your personal sovereignty. It's not about controlling other people, what they think and what they do. It's about having that compassion. It's about having that recognition that we're all sovereign beings. It's about understanding that we all come from that same God source energy. Again, unique threads in that tapestry of creation. I feel like we are being called to go deeper and deeper within ourselves and deeper within our hearts. And especially if you are on the ascension path, if you're on this, especially for those of you in sacred partnership, we've been sharing this, how you are really beginning to embody all of these teachings that you've learned along your journey and all of the integrations that you've experienced and all the lessons and the challenges that you've overcome. And we have the card initiation, and that's what this feels like. It feels like this has been an initiation. Are you embodying who you say you are? Not just walking the walk, but talking the talk. Are you shifting the patterns? Are you making new choices? This is your initiation. I don't believe that the universe tests us, but I do believe that the universe challenges us and pushes us and in essence initiates us into higher levels of ourselves. But we have to do the work, and we have to allow ourselves to go through the fire of transformation. We have to allow ourselves to make those changes. We have to believe in ourselves. We have to connect deep within our heart. As you guys know, if you've been listening to my channelings, the seed of life has been coming forth a lot as a symbol, and I'm just getting pointed. We have the seed of life here. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's kind of dim, but we have the seed of life being shown here. Everything is interconnected. We are all interconnected. And sometimes we are shown, experience triggers to look deeper within ourselves, to embody deeper within ourselves. We are challenged. Doesn't mean that you have to just keep putting yourself in the fire. You don't have to engage. You don't have to, be a part of that. But if you are triggered, if you do have an experience, allow yourself to learn from that experience. It is an opportunity for growth. It is an opportunity for learning, especially learning more about yourself. Who are you? Who do you choose to be? It all comes down to that sovereignty, your personal sovereignty, your personal truth. And you do that by getting in touch with your inner heart. So let's tune in to the dragons. I'm getting Kuan Yin's Dragon of Compassion coming through. We're going to be channeling with Kuan Yin in an upcoming channeling. I'm not sure when, but it's been on my docket. You've heard me say it for a while now. It's been on my list for a while now. Something that I've been wanting to do, but again, I was pulling myself back, and I do apologize for that. But we will be channeling with Kuan Yin, and I feel like her Dragon of Compassion. I'm just getting this violet energy. I'm getting this violet flame energy as well. This energy of deep healing. This energy of like a purifying flame, which is the violet flame. This purifying energy, and it very much feels like this phoenix. It very much feels like a rebirth. If you allow yourself to go through that rebirth process, if you allow yourself to connect deep within your heart, to follow your path and listen to your intuition and listen to your truth, discover your truth for yourself. That is everybody's sacred pursuit. That is everybody's sacred path. That is part of your destiny, is to say, what is my truth? What speaks true for me? It's not to force anybody to believe, but especially if you are some kind of guide, if you are a healer, if you do help to facilitate other people's journeys, it is to bring forth information so that people can make those decisions for themselves and continue with their own exploration, continue with their own journey to go deeper within themselves. No two journeys are the same. Even though we might be part of a collective, no two journeys are the same. We can have similar resources or be directed to similar resources, but no two journeys are the same, because no two experiences are the same, because, again, we're all unique threads in that tapestry of creation. But what's beautiful about that is, even though we're unique threads, it makes up the big picture. It makes up the whole tapestry, and it wouldn't be a tapestry without you. So believe in yourself. We have the water dragon. Helps you flow easily around obstacles. Christ light and love are flowing. Develop your psychic abilities. Go with the flow. Trust in yourself. I'm also getting this energy that I feel like it's no coincidence that I was in a place of doubt for myself and my own psychic abilities. Even as I had clients, confirming for me and validating for me the readings that I did for them, I was still doubting myself, especially when it comes to some of this kind of wild stuff that I channel. I mean, it's wild even for me. But I've really learned, it really feels much more natural over the years. It really feels just really organic. It really feels like, I believe it. I have to. This is the work that I do. In essence, I guess I do have a choice, but it's part of my soul that I believe it. Like, I could feel it in my very soul. And if I didn't, I wouldn't be sharing it. If I didn't, I wouldn't be doing this work. That's where I know myself. That's where I trust myself. I say that because I feel like many of you are coming online with your own abilities, and they might be showing up in various different ways. Some of you might have claircognizance, where you just know something. Some of you might have clairaudience, where you are hearing different tones, different energies. You might be actually like hearing things. Some of you might have clairvoyance, where you're seeing visions, and you might be asking yourself, am I crazy? And that's part of this journey, unfortunately, because this society, this world, it is very fixed in its beliefs and what it thinks that it knows. But even they reminded me of science. Science is a beautiful thing. And what I love about spirituality, what I love about metaphysics, is it's almost like a bridge between science and spirituality. What we do here is very grounded spirituality, where we bridge the human experience and the spiritual experience in a very grounded way, because we don't want to deny the human experience, just like we don't want to deny science. I don't know a whole lot about science, but what I do understand is that science is continuing to evolve. Science begins with theory. Science begins with hypothesis. And you take data and evidence to prove these theorems and to prove that data, or to prove those hypotheses. And science is constantly evolving. And when we had channeled Leonardo da Vinci a long time ago in one of the daily energy draws, and I've always been wanting to revisit with him, what he said was, and Leonardo da Vinci was freaking genius. You know, we've been studying his works forever. He had the flying machine. He had the man, I can't think of the word at this moment as I'm channeling, but he was studying the body, the physical body. He taught us so much about what we know now. And what I channeled back then in that channeling was, we still have more to uncover from Leonardo da Vinci's texts, because what we understood from reading those books and those texts at one point in time was based on our knowledge then. And as we've evolved and opened up and expanded in our knowledge, we're going to go deeper with those learnings. We're going to go deeper with those studies. I'll try to remember to link that in the description box, but you can also search the daily energy draws for Leonardo da Vinci. It was a very interesting channeling. So, you know, you don't know what you don't know. And as you learn more and as you expand more in your mind and open your heart and mind, there's more possibilities, there's more potentials. Your understanding and your knowledge grows deeper. And the same thing is with science. You know, the more we learn, the more we know, the more we open up. So that's what this really feels like. It feels like if you have been questioning yourself and doubting yourself, if you feel like you're going crazy, tune into yourself. Anchor yourself and ground yourself. Grounding is extremely important in this line of work, especially on the spiritual journey. Ground yourself. Make sure that you're grounded to this earth plane. But allow yourself to reflect within yourself and say, what feels true to me? What feels like it's coming from a true and honest and authentic place? What feels true to my soul? What do I know? What do I believe innately? Not because somebody is telling me to or not telling me to, but because I feel it in my very soul. I feel it in my gut. Allow yourself to believe, especially as your own intuitive gifts are opening up. All right. Anything else? Let's go another card or two. Thank you. We have the gold and silver violet flame dragon. That's exactly what I was feeling. I was feeling that violet energy. Transmutes the old around you with wisdom and grace. It's time for transmutation, magic, and healing. Offer service under grace. That transmutation, that transformation, that's what this really feels like. This feels like that rebirth energy. And so the violet flame energy is really coming through to show us. It's interesting. We have the Atlantean dragon. We're talking about Lemurian energy here as well. And it's all interconnected. Everything's interconnected. But we'll get into that another day when we work more with the Lemurians. But this energy here, that violet flame energy, is all about that purification. It's all about that transmutation. It's all about that transformation. Allowing you to clear out the old and give birth to a new version of you. Maybe you're clearing out an old program of self-doubt. Maybe you're clearing out an old program where you neglected yourself or rejected yourself or abandoned yourself for the sake of others. And you are stepping into a new version of yourself where you are honoring yourself, where you are stepping into that place of self-empowerment, stepping into that place of really, real, like deep authenticity, where you are just staying true to who you are and believing in yourself, new version of yourself. Allow yourself to go through your own inner changes. Allow yourself to go through your own transformations, to be these better versions of yourself. When I say better, it's not that a past version of yourself was worse. It's just a heightened version of yourself, or for lack of a better word, a higher frequency version of yourself. If you use that comparison, it might be better in comparison to an older version of yourself, but it doesn't mean that old version of yourself was wrong. It just means that you've evolved. It just means that you've expanded. It just means that you've transformed. All right, we're going to end with another card. Okay, let's get one final card. They want one final card. So we're going to start closing this reading out. What do you want to say? What else do you want to say? There's a lot of protective energy around you right now. Air and Fire Dragon. Harness your creativity, excitement, and enthusiasm. Communicate your passion. Expand your creativities. Don't let that fire burn out. Don't let that fire burn out. There's a very heightened protective energy that is around you right now. We also have the Earth and Fire Dragon. When you give, you receive. It's time for service. So allowing yourself to open up and keep pursuing your mission. Whatever that is. You don't have to be doing this, but whatever it is, stay true to you. Believe in yourself and stay true to you. Have those healthy boundaries, especially boundaries within yourself. But allow yourself to honor what it is that you're doing and be excited about what it is that you're doing. Love what it is that you're doing too. If I didn't love what it was I was doing, if I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't be doing it. But I was guided here, and I am so passionate about what I'm doing, and I love what I'm doing, and I believe in it. And if I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't be doing it. So honor yourself and don't let that fire burn out. Don't let that fire go out. All right, you guys, thank you so much for the honor of this one. We'll be back with more Soul Path readings coming up on the channel soon. I'm sending lots of love and lots of light.